What does this say? I'm live. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. Okay, so I want to say Happy New Year's because I want next year to be happy. Not just for me, but for everybody else too, you know. So today was a rotten day. I know it's just started, but just had a big fight with my spouse. I don't really feel like getting into the details, but suffice it to say that, you know, big changes may be coming, and maybe changes that I'm not particularly excited about. Let's see, but who knows? I can't remember what I was doing just before New Year's last year. They say that whatever you're doing on New Year's Eve, it'll kind of indicate what you're doing the rest of the year or whatever. I have no idea what I was doing last year. I think I was lounging around on the couch doing nothing for New Year's last year, and I was so mad about it. Because to me, New Year's Eve means going out. Not necessarily going out and getting hammered and whatever, causing all kinds of trouble or whatever. That's not, to me, that's not necessarily what you need to do. But at least going out, at least, you know, go to have drinks with friends or go to dinner or, you know, spending time with people that you love and that love you. And I don't have that in my life. And it's all I want. It's all I want. And I don't have it. And I don't know how to get it. Anybody that I consider, well, that not that I consider a true friend, but anybody that I feel like really cares about me on a deep level live out of state. Well, and one lives like 2 hours away, you know. And so I do really struggle with this staying at home thing because I haven't been invited to go anywhere with anyone, but to invite myself not only is tacky and rude and an imposition on everyone that I would ask, but then also it defeats the purpose. The purpose in my mind for me is that if somebody invites me, that means they want me to be there. If they don't invite me, then they don't want me to be there. And so for me to invite myself anywhere is basically me sticking myself into a situation where all I'll be thinking the entire time is, if they wanted me to be here, they would have invited me themselves. They don't really want me to be here. They just feel sorry for me, or, you know, I put them on the spot, that kind of thing. And so I don't invite myself places. I don't, anymore. I mean, I used to say, oh, well, do you care if I join you? Or, you know, things like that. But then it's awkward for them, because what if they do? And, you know, or maybe it's fine if I join them, but they might feel bad that they didn't think to ask first. And then I've made them feel bad. Anyway, I just wish I had a spouse that just said, hey, let's go do this. Because when I say, hey, let's go do this, he always just says no. Or makes an excuse as to why we can't. Basically saying no. I could come up with a list of 15 things to do today, and he would say no or give me a bullshit excuse for every single one of them. Every single one of them. Maybe I'll write a list anyway. And say, hey, let's go do this. And see if he says yes to any of it. And if he does, I'll let y'all know. Because I'll be surprised as hell. Just absolutely floored if he says yes to anything. Anyway. It's not, I know that I'm feeling sorry for myself, but it's not just that I feel sorry for myself. I just don't know how to solve this problem. Because I don't really like to sit and wallow. If there's a problem, I like to figure out what the solution is and then, implement that solution. But I can't make him want to spend time with me. Or if I can, I don't really know how to do that. Unless we're doing things that he wants to do, except he doesn't want to do anything. And if he did, it would be something that I would be suffering through. I would absolutely do it. But he doesn't like to do anything that I like to do. The only thing he likes to do is sports, watch TV. That's it. Lay on the couch and drink beer. He doesn't do anything. And it's been that way for years now. And of course he tries to blame it on me instead of just taking responsibility for it himself. And, but then if I were to say that to him, he would just turn that back on me and say that that's exactly what I'm doing. And, all of a sudden everything's my fault. That's what he says is everything's, he doesn't care about anything anymore, supposedly, because he gets blamed for everything. Well, and I'm in my mind, first of all, yeah, a lot of it is your fault, motherfucker. Why don't you fucking own up to it and do something about it? But another part of me is like, well, maybe not everything is your fault, but even if it was, who cares? What difference does it make whose fault anything is at this point? What matters is solving the problem, at least for me. And so, anyway, I just want him to solve, and it can't be my solution to this problem either, because I've tried many, many, many times, many times, and I've given up many times too. I've given up on even trying to find a solution or that there is thinking that there's a solution to this issue, because fucking phone. Because when I try to come up with a solution, he won't. You know what I mean? Like, the problem is that he won't spend time with me. Like, we sit in the living room at night and he watches his show and I'll be on my phone or play a video game or something. But, we can't agree on what to watch on TV, so he'll just watch whatever he wants and I'll be on my phone or whatever. And if I watch something I want to watch, he doesn't want to watch it. We have nothing in common. Nothing that I can think of. But like I said, so if I think of it, and I told him this today, it can't be my solution. It's got to be his solution, because it's got to be his idea. If it's my idea, he won't listen to it. It's got to be his idea. But I can't come up with, I'm not like one of those people that can make him think of a good idea and then make him think it was his idea. Like, I don't know how to manipulate people like that. I don't know how to fucking do that. And I wish I did. My life would have been so much easier. I don't know how to manipulate people into thinking that my idea is their idea. And no, then what a good idea it is. Fuck that shit. I don't even need to be dealing with shit like that. But if I knew how to do it, I could get somebody to invite me to a party and say, and they'd be like, oh, what a good idea. I just had to invite Rebecca to the party. It breaks my heart. It's not just parties, and it's not just New Year's. It's every day of the week, every week of the month, every month of the year. I sit at home uninvited. And it's not like I don't go out and do things, because if I want to do something, if I'm desperate enough to do something, I just go out and buy my fucking self and do it. Because there's no one else that wants to do anything with me either. And I said this to him too. I was like, It's not just you that doesn't want to spend time with me, but you're the one that's supposed to want to because you're my spouse. So nobody else owes me anything. Nobody else has to invite me to anything. Everybody else is off the fucking hook. But you're my spouse and you're supposed to want to do things with me. And I don't know, maybe I'm just completely naive. Maybe that's not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I would say, and it's not like I'm not saying, that he can't do things without me also, but he doesn't even do that. Like, he has no friends, he has no hobbies, he has no interests. He just fucking every night lays on the couch, watches TV, takes a nap, goes to buy beer, comes home, gets a shower, proceeds to turn on video games and play the video games and drink said beer. And that's it. Go to bed. That's it. Every night. Every night. Every night. And I just thought life was supposed to be about more than that. So recently I decided that I wanted to kind of take my destiny into my own hands, and start a restaurant. I've been thinking about it for over a year. I mean, I have an idea in mind, and I even, I have enlisted some friends to help me find a location, which we found. But of course, every time, and I can't buy it on my own because I make $10.50 an hour. I'm a fucking pauper practically, and I decided that and I just struggle so much in these jobs with these people that are just passive aggressive and terrible people here. And I just attributed it to the kitchen, food industry. And so finally I was just like, I've got enough experience. I've got a college degree. I got to be able to start my own business. I got to be able to start my own restaurant. So I Google it, right? How to start a successful restaurant. Well, the first thing you can do, the best thing you can do is to get restaurant experience. Well, no shit. And anyway, so I've got like 10 years restaurant experience now in various positions and capacities, anywhere from toilet and dish scrubber to assistant manager. And everything in between except head chef. I've been a line cook, I've been a grill cook, I've been a brunch cook, I've been a salad prep person and prep cook and baker and dessert preparer. I don't want to say pastry chef because I'm not a pastry chef, but I mean, I did a lot of cakes and cheesecakes and desserts and garnishes and plating and all kinds of fancy shit, mousses and all kinds of delicious stuff, coulis and whatever, so I'm kind of like, there's like low level where it's just like, house cooking. And then there's high level, which is like pastry chef, And then I'm kind of somewhere in the lower middle range there. And so, I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to start this restaurant. And so I started to start a Patreon account to get money, hopefully thinking that, just thinking that people would probably donate something. And I, just to see where it went, and then I got the website, the domain name and the website and everything and the email. But I can't figure out how to set up the website. So what good is that going to do anybody? Nothing. And then I haven't figured out how to set up the Patreon account. So again, nothing. So I can get all these things started, but then I get stuck, and then I don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of to help me get unstuck, because he's just sitting there on the couch watching his TV, drinking his beer, completely disinterested in this endeavor. Completely disinterested in my endeavor. And I want him to participate in it with me. And I realize I just said my endeavor, but I said my endeavor because he's not interested in participating in it. I'm so angry. I'm so angry. And because ultimately it just lies on me, I guess. Bottom line is I should be able to do it all by myself, 100%. You know, I should be able to figure all this shit out by myself. I ought to be able to figure out how to do a Patreon account. And I ought to be able to figure out how to set up a website, even though every time I've gone on to try to do it, I just mess it up and it doesn't stick. And when I try and live chat people for help, they're no help. And they're so condescending. Oh my God. Anyway. So this all kind of started when there was a New Year's Eve party I was supposed to go to and it got canceled, and so I mentioned to him that it got canceled, but I wasn't mad at him because it got canceled. I can't remember how the fight started, to be honest. I think he was asking about I guess it doesn't really matter how it started. Anyway, I've got some coffee to drink and whatever. I did want to mention really quickly, I do for New Year's, like my resolution for New Year's, and it's not really a New Year's resolution per se, but my goal for next year is to pursue this restaurant even more. Either that or so because I got this job as a cake decorator, sorry to go off line there. I'm a cake decorator at a local grocery store now, and I like it. Everybody there is at least civil. And a lot of them are very, very nice people. But I don't want to do that for the rest of my life. You know, I don't want to do that forever. I want to learn new techniques and stuff, but I figured that as soon as I got that job, he thought that I would completely abandon the idea of this restaurant. And every time he puts the kibosh on a location, he finds a million excuses as to why we shouldn't get every property that we've looked at. And we're pre-qualified for enough money to purchase the property. But they want way too much for the two properties that we've looked at. They want like $350,000 for these things, but Zillow has like valued them at like 200. One of them was like 204,000 and the other one was like 280,000. And I mentioned that to my real estate agent, and 2 days later, all of a sudden Zillow's got those properties listed at what they're asking for and not what it was originally. Like literally 2 days later, the property said 204 and they were asking $350,000. And I mentioned this to my real estate agent, and 2 days later, it's showing listed at $350,000. What kind of horse shit is that? So part of me wants to give up on the idea of purchasing a location because I don't feel like anybody can be honest with me about it. Just fucking be straightforward and honest with me. You know, I asked him for a CMA and I still don't have it, and it was at least 2 weeks ago that I asked for it. And I get that it's Christmas. I get it. But, you know, if he's doing that, if that's his job and he's supposed to be working for me, why don't I have that CMA? Anyway. Just one of the many pains of trying to get this done. And again, instead of my spouse working through this whole thing with me, he's just like, well, you picked the guy. I thought he was Mr. Wonderful. That's got nothing to do with anything, goddammit. Anyway, since no one is watching, no one is listening, as per fucking usual, as my fucking life, as I fucking see my life. Except for you, Melissa. I know you'll watch this later, and I know you'll care. How many billions of people live on this planet? Anyway, I can't take it. I can't take it.